The preview for the 4th chapter of 2 Blue Vortex has just teased the most awaited part of the story. We might be getting a flashback arc in the next chapter, as the preview says what happened to Boruto who left the village in the past. So is this actually the beginning of a recollection arc, or is Kishimoto planning to continue the ongoing madness? Are the big mysteries of the time skip on their way of getting unfolded? Let's find out. The last panel of chapter 3 is the most hyped cliffhanger of 2 Blue Vortex so far. The hand sign that Boruto is making either reflects his sage mode or the most awaited Jogan, only because a similar gesture was made by him when he activated the dojutsu in the prologue scene. Not only that, a possible battle between Boruto and Kawaki is most likely gonna erupt very soon. If not that, then Boruto is about to reverse summon to Court's dimension to stop the worst future from happening. However, it seems like we won't be seeing the fate of Boruto in the present timeline for a while, just because the preview for the next chapter hints otherwise. It seems like we are finally getting the continuation of the last pre-time skip chapter very soon. Kishimoto left us with a brilliant cliffhanger, and now that there are hundreds of theories revolving around the conclusion of this chapter alone, he will now take us to the mysterious period. That's right, a blast to the past unfolding many mysteries of the time skip, some of them that I have already covered on the channel, and some that aren't easy to speculate. The reason it might be the right time to dive into the past is because of the hype that these 3 chapters have created. What's interesting is that the ongoing events are still a part of Boruto's memories that he is recollecting during the Kawaki fight. So let's take a look at all the questions that need to be answered in the flashback arc of 2 Blue Vortex. We will also be looking at their potential answers, along with dissecting if a glimpse of past is really required in the story. So stay tuned. The fate of Sasuke and why there is no mention of him from the mouth of Boruto is the first mystery which needs to be solved. While many people believe he's already dead, explaining the lifeless look on Boruto's face, it's worth noting that the anime foreshadowed the time skip mentors of Boruto in the time slip arc. So since both Jiraiya and Sasuke interacted with Boruto at the same time in the anime, it's not that likely for him to die in the time skip. However, if he's actually dead, then it seems like Koji had taken the role of mentoring Boruto eventually after the unfortunate incident. Talking about Koji, it seems like his intentions on training Boruto are neutral, and here is what I mean by that. Unless Kishimoto has planned the effects of omnipotence to reduce on the Kara cyborgs, there is no way Koji is immune to it. This means that he sees Boruto as Kawaki, and the fact that he's helping him signifies that he only wants to protect Konoha from the present threats, which are mainly Code and his army. He has nothing to do with Kawaki, who stole Boruto's identity. His only concern is the protection of the shinobi bird. Also, the fact that Kawaki right now is calm and not in the beast mode from the future. Right now, it won't make sense for Koji in helping Boruto to seek revenge from his counterpart. It also surprises me that how different Boruto's life has been from Kawaki in the time skip period. While Kawaki casually enjoyed the luxury of his life that he stole from Boruto, the young lord saved the whole planet from destruction. Not only that, Boruto has apparently gone through a lot of trauma, but even after that, he was able to master one of the most formidable abilities. Kawaki, on the other hand, has evolved his Dharma Eye cause he had a realm for training where the concept of time ceases to exist. It's pretty interesting that in part 1 of the story, Kawaki had all the limelight and Boruto was the boring one. But the fate reversal has made Kawaki the boring one and Boruto is now the interesting one. It's actually pretty impressive for the author to pull off this contrast in their legacies. It shows that omnipotence didn't only switch their lives, but also the point of view of the readers on them. While the mystery of Sasuke's disappearance could get fulfilled in the flashback arc of the story, something even more mysterious is the scar on Code's left eye. Is it the doing of Boruto, or has Sasuke completed his final resolve by stopping Code from creating menace? The scar could act as a proof of Sasuke's death, or more realistically his transformation into a tree. That's the most plausible theory in my eyes. When it comes to what happened to Sasuke, he must have landed a brutal slash on Code's left eye, followed by getting devoured by one of his grimes. The first battle of Code with Boruto that he mentioned to Sarada in the first chapter must have been the time when he lost his left eye. So will the flashbacks begin from this battle, the training arc, or the entry of Kashin Koji? Well, I guess the whole blast from the past part of the story will be focused on Kashin Koji and how he encountered Boruto and Sasuke. It could be that he interrupted the Code fight or maybe saved Sasuke from becoming a tree. Before we get into the other mysteries, let's figure out what motivated Koji to help Boruto at first place. More importantly, how he taught him a technique which can easily knock out a Jigen level opponent, and why didn't he learn it himself? He could have given Ishiki a tough time if he did master the Uzuhiko Uzuhiko back then? Well, here we have the concept of predestined genes and how relevant they have become to the plot of Boruto. Kishimoto didn't let Ishiki casually drop this one-liner. There is a lot which contributes to the story from this statement alone. Koji being the clone of Jiraiya means he is gonna adapt his legacy too, which includes seeking a child of prophecy who will be the savior of the world. This means Boruto is gonna play every role that Naruto played as the child of prophecy. He had already saved the planet from destruction once and is about to do it again by defeating Code and Kawaki in the future. Boruto might even be responsible for reuniting the Ten Tails, which would mean getting the Claw Grimes together to revitalize the Jubi. This also means that Boruto's fate will have similarities to Momoshiki's destiny, cause they literally share the same genetics after fusion. So if the Otsutsuki has been sealed somehow, chances are Boruto will also get sealed sometime in the future. The fact that Kawaki has the dimension where he seals people makes it a plausible possibility, and when something like that happens, Himawari could be the one who would free Boruto and her parents from the Daikokuten dimension. Additionally, how could Kochi teach Boruto a technique he never employed? Well, the chakra pool of Boruto after the Otsutsuki transformation is what made him capable of learning this technique, but still it's fascinating that Koji had the knowledge of this power. Its similarities to the Shinjutsu of Shibai hint at Koji having the knowledge of the divine techniques. Well, I think either he had the remains of Shibai that he let Boruto absorb, explaining how he learned this ability, or maybe there is something like the Uzumaki stone tablet which could contain the reality of the Uzumakis alongside acting as a manuscript of learning formidable powers like the Uzuhiko. Momoshiki talking about the missing Otsutsukis who have rewritten humanity's history with omnipotence also hints at the same. I might cover this in another video, so make sure to subscribe. The other mysteries that a flashback arc could solve include Kawaki's timeskip training and how he managed to evolve his Dharma Wheel Eye. While I strongly believe he trained in the time frozen realm, there is a lot more about his character development that no one is talking about. He has apparently wreaked havoc in the prologue scene, and for some reasons, Boruto wasn't able to stop him. So could it be that he has grown more stronger than Boruto, and the time when he was caught off guard by a claw grime was just done to conceal his true potential? Well, the next thing about Kawaki that we might get to see in the flashback arc is something very interesting. So far, there has only been a single hint indicating Kawaki's potential hatred for the shinobis. Back when Sarada came to Boruto's rescue, he acknowledged the shinobis as people who are destined to die early. There hasn't been any other sign of hatred towards this regime in his behavior. Neither he ever spoke about shinobis after that. He thinks they are not powerful enough to protect the Hokage, especially against the Otsutsukis. When Kawaki was first introduced to the story, I thought he might have been abused by shinobis, which is why he hates them in the future. But by looking at his backstory, there is no ninja involvement whatsoever. This means either something will happen in the future or has already happened in the past that will turn Kawaki from this to this. Moreover, the character development and timeskip training of Mitsuki and Sarada will be something worth watching from the flashbacks as well. What's interesting is that Kishimoto has taken a very creative approach when it comes to defining the Uzuhiko technique. This means that the new powers of the other characters could also use a similar mechanism inspired from planets or other celestial bodies. It would be something unexpected cause there hasn't been any connection drawn between Boruto and planet Earth in the story so far. Yet his Uzuhiko turned out as a planetary Rasengan which uses the planet's rotation to deal with the opponent. Going by this logic, we shouldn't expect Mitsuki to have a moon-inspired ability or Sarada Susanoo being a personification of the sun. Their abilities will bring some new and creative concepts to the table, so subscribe and comment below I subscribe if you want me to cover this topic in the future. Now let's discuss, would it be the right choice for the manga to start the flashback arc from the next chapter? Everyone was expecting Two Blue Vortex to start from the point where chapter 80 left. It should have been Boruto and Sasuke going rogue and training for a few years till they encountered their new allies and old opponents. However, the way the story made a time jump 3 years into the future and started teasing the events that happened in between was also remarkable. The main problem with the flashback arc would be its unprecedented length. It could last for like a few volumes or could get wrapped up in a chapter or two. A better idea in my opinion would be to have a few flashback panels in every chapter from now on, which would explain the new additions to the story. Like the next chapter could start with a flashback of Koji meeting Boruto for the first time, cause the last chapter ended with a cliffhanger featuring his doors. Similarly, if Sasuke gets mentioned anywhere in the present story, it could then follow up with a flashback of him in the past. However, the main reason for Kishimoto to elongate the flashback arc could be the introduction of the Pure Eye Jogan. Kishimoto must have deliberately kept the right eye of Boruto hidden in this panel just to let the Jogan's hype dominate the community. The hand sign that he has used in this panel is also similar to the prologue scene when he activated this eye for the first time. If it's actually for the debut of the Jogan, then I won't be surprised if the flashback arc would be a few volumes long. This would mean that Boruto has awakened this power in the 3-year time period, and maybe that's why Kishimoto wanted a recollection arc at first place. We could finally see when and how Boruto activates the Jogan for the first time, bringing an end to the 7-year-long mystery. What's more impressive is that Boruto was able to utilize the Uzuhiko without using the Karma. Now imagine him using the Karma and the Jogan simultaneously. The power scaling is about to reach the sky by the time this scene makes it to the story. Just as I said, the new abilities of all the characters could have some heavy creative infusion in them. However, when it comes to Himawari, it seems like her new power has already been teased in the story. The last chapter was titled Uzuhiko with Himawari on the cover. Not only that, she was shown to subconsciously radiate an intensity which freaked out the subject of an Otsutsuki god. So will she become the most broken character of the verse? And will the Uzumaki siblings eliminate all the competition in terms of power levels? Find all your answers in this video and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stuff. I will see you next time.